Jit Camp Bonfire podcast, Ep.1. I'm here with my good friend Kyle from Green Diamond CBD, and we're here to talk about his product, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm glad you had me out. Yeah, so it was kind of funny how we got into this business. We actually we grow live oak trees up in North Florida, so we have a few hundred acres up there. And in 2020, they said, you know what? We're going to start growing where your guys are going to be allowed to grow CBD flower. And we're like, we got to jump on that. Like,
Hmm.
if we're not, we're just a bunch of fools in the game. Like, why
Yeah.
would you not? We have all this acreage. Let's do it. So we have like 25,000 live oak trees in the ground, and they're not yet big enough to where we center them out at like 12-foot spacings. And so we're like, we'll just put them right in between the live oak trees. Why not? Try it
You
out.
can do both.
And so we found a good seed provider. That took a while, man. The industry right now is so young. There's a lot of just brokers that act like they're seed suppliers. So you really have to weed through different people, the different brokers, and find the actual supplier of who you're going to be dealing with. And we settled upon a strain. It's called Goliath. It won the Cannabis Cup 2 years in a row for CBD flower, and it smokes good, man. It's some good stuff. But we ran into every problem you probably could when we were out there. But at the end of the day, it turned out good. We ran into deer
Oh,
problems,
shit.
and it was funny, man. We come out there and you're supposed to top cannabis plants. That way it comes out with more shoots and you get more buds. You do that in the vegetation state. And these deer would come out there and they would chew on them, and it was almost like a natural top. Some of them they would keep going after them and it would tear them up.
Oh, and you just had
But
to kill that or get rid
well,
of it.
they just wouldn't survive, or they would just be smaller yielded plants. But yeah, I mean, for that, it's just we just had to deal with a lot of problems, but we overcame it. We started out with 8,000 plants,
Dang.
and yielded, a few thousand pounds. So it was a good
How
harvest.
long does it take to grow it?
Yeah. So what we did is we got a good nursery over there, and the guy does a lot of propagation. So
Hmm.
what propagation is, I mean, well, he took our seeds and he put them into trays, like trays of 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we took these plants that were, I would say, like 8 to 15 inches, and he would bring out the trays to us, and we would put them in the ground. We'd have an auger and drill these holes into the ground and put them where in between the live oak trees. And we put them, like I said, we put them right in between them. And it takes about 4 to 5 months from plant to harvest. So you have your vegetation state, and then after your vegetation state, you go into flowering. And a lot of people are weary, like, oh man, I wouldn't grow a flower in Florida because it's so humid. But we
Hmm.
got lucky. I mean, we didn't have to deal with really any mold problems because we dealt with a good strain. So they developed these strains through generations, and through that development, it helps with different kinds of insecticides. They're less prone to insects. They are less prone to getting mold, things like that. So we were lucky to have a good company to provide us good seeds.
Did when you went to get the seeds, like was that really hard for you? You were saying that um it was like a hassle for you to get the right vendor for it or go through that. I saw a guy, the CBD guy from Miami, he showed seeds like in a store and you could get them and plant them. Like, is that not the right way to go or
So the thing is there's all these brokers out there, and you got to really do your vetting to find out who's the right supplier. And so we got all feminized seeds, so they're like 99% feminized. And someone could ship you seeds that are non-feminized, and your whole half of your field could be male plants. If they're male plants, they're going to produce you're going to get pollinated. They're going to produce pollen, and you're going to have to go through your field and really be out there every single day to check out to see which are these male plants. And you got to make sure you remove them, because if you don't, then all your field will get seeded. No one wants seeds in
It'll
their
tear it up.
buds,
Yeah.
Who wants to smoke some buds when seeds in them?
Well, that's a thing. I know people that they've gotten pre-rolls from a dispensary, THC pre-rolls,
Right.
and they found seeds and stems like shit on the ground, man. Like nobody wants to smoke that.
So we actually started out with two different strains. The strain here, Goliath, it's a indica. You smell it, man. It's got a nice smell to it. I mean,
I've smoked it
you
before,
smoked them
man. I
before.
like it. It's a good
Yeah,
product,
yeah.
and I'm not
It's
even
too
a
bad we
CBD
can't smoke them
person.
in here. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna smoke them, and you know it, man. It smells
But
great,
anyways,
though.
yeah, we grew another strain called Medicine Mother. It's from Colorado, and it's a sativa.
Mhm.
Sativas they get stressed easier. So when a cannabis plant gets stressed, it's a possibility that it can become a hermaphrodite. So what
Mhm.
happens if it's a hermaphrodite is it will produce flower as well
Yes.
as the seeds. And so one side of our field got seeded, and we had a few different fields, and one side of our field got seeded, and we just had to trash all of it because, I mean, we could have made like biomass for it, but there's really no money in that, and there's just take a lot of work. And another thing is just so we did it a little bit different. We didn't want to rent out a big facility to spend. We would have to buy 6 months of rent at a facility. So what we did is we dried it in refrigerated trucks. We just got a bunch of refrigerated trucks, rented them for a couple weeks, and hung them up. I mean, we had some really good people out there helping us, and it worked out, man. And we had double layers of this stuff drying, and I mean, I was on edge the whole time, and I'm like, I really hope this works out. We don't get mold, because this is our first time doing it. You never know what's
Mhm.
gonna go wrong.
So how often did you have to go up there and like watch the crops or work out there? I know you would always tell me, "Oh, I'm going to Gainesville," but
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
everybody like the work that goes into it and everything.
Yeah, of course. So once we planted them, we would go out there like once a week, a couple times a week, just to make sure that they're getting the water that they needed. I mean, I didn't realize how much water these plants need. I mean, they grow them out in California where it's a little bit less humid, and they don't need as much water, I don't think, in California where they do in Florida, because it gets so much hotter.
Mhm.
So we'd go out there and water them, and then you don't want to fertilize them until they're really rooted in. You want to make sure that they're rooted in before you start fertilizing them. So we waited, a certain period of time until we started fertilizing, and then we'd fertilize them, once a month or so, because our fertilizer lasts for like a 30-day period, 30 to 60-day period, and we created like different chemicals like that needed to be for the cannabis plant that really helped them thrive. So we'd go out there, and then once that happened, then I was like talking to my dad, like, well, I think we should top these plants. He's like, the deer already topped them for you. And we got different sprouts coming out all over the place. But as for the Goliath plant, it really produces the stems that come out that you really don't branches that come out that you really don't even need to top these plants. They grow like a Christmas tree, and they grow tall. I mean, we'd have some plants out there that were like 7, 8, sometimes like a few that were like 9 feet tall, like some
Wow.
big plants out there. I didn't expect that.
So what made you guys pick CBD rather than going with THC, which is it's medically legal in
Hey,
Florida?
we plan to do that. No, but I think with I mean, I haven't done too much research with it, but I think with the medical, you really have to jump through a lot of hoops,
Mhm.
costs a lot of money. It's heavily regulated. And with this, I mean, they didn't charge anything for the license. We already had the land. So all we really had to do was just set up extra emitter lines. Emitters are what water the plants for in between our live oak trees. That's really all we had to do. Burn out the areas where they needed to be. So it wasn't too much added prep work for putting these plants in the ground.
As I know you always talk about like CBD is better if you get paranoid from smoking THC or if you have problems smoking. What would you recommend? Who would you recommend for the product?
You know what's funny? So we're like in over 150 locations right now, and like first thinking about it,
Real quick too,
I
man.
tried to, yeah, we launched in November and here we are now. We're in 150 locations, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee, Lee County. And I'm out there every day grinding it. But
Yeah.
but anyways, I was trying to like think about geographic areas of where like demographics as well, where this would sell. And at first I was thinking, well, maybe it's like your middle-aged people that they don't want to get high. They want to smoke CBD at the end of the day and they just want to relax. But what I found out is there's more than just that. I mean, we're in college towns, like right next to University of Tampa, right next to USF, right downtown. There's a lot of
Eckerd.
younger people like down in the South as well. Yeah. And they like this product too, because I mean, if you're during the day, I mean, not everybody can get high all day long, I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, they can smoke this, they can relax, have a good, and you can still concentrate. I mean, for me, I mean, if I smoke, man, I'm out of this world. Like I can't concentrate on anything. I
Man
just
on
want
the
to sit
moon.
down on the couch and just relax and try and calm myself down. So that's why I mean I haven't smoked like that for years.
Hmm.
And what's funny is when we started growing these plants, I would go out there and I'm like, oh, that's a nice bud. Like I want to take that home with me.
Yeah.
And so I'd pull a bud off and let it dry for a little bit. And I'd smoke it and then I would consistently smoke it. But before I was having a problem with like staying asleep. Like I would go to sleep and I'd wake up like 5, 6 times in the middle of the night. And then what happens is CBD like builds up in your system. And once it starts building up in your system, for me, I would sleep right through the night. And it was amazing. Like something from a plant can do that for you. People are taking pain pills. This helps with pain. People are taking sleeping pills. This helps with sleeping. People are taking muscle relaxers. This helps with that. I mean, this comes straight from the ground. There's no other, I don't know what they call it.
Additive.
Well, not even additive. They don't have to, I don't know, make it in a laboratory or anything.
Yeah.
All we did is grow this plant and dry it. And we grew it 100% organically too. I mean, that's one of the big things that we push for too. I mean, it's on our label.
Yeah, I like this new package, man. It's really
Yeah, we just
sick.
came out with this new package. We had another package when we were first starting out. Like, we didn't want to invest too much before we tested our product.
Hmm.
And we just had another label that really just didn't, all it had was just like this, didn't have anything. And there were like 12 slots. And we're like, well, why don't we put what exactly what's
Like
going in, what's in there. So these are actually our nugs that's in there. And we just added a couple extra things. People like to see that it's from Florida. I mean, you got all these big companies from Colorado, California that are bringing pre-rolls down here and really pushing in. So
This
we
is local grown.
local grown. We grew it up in That's where we grow. We grow it up north of Gainesville. So
So was the pre rolls just like the best route to get to start up with?
that's a
Or
good question. We tried to go, so like I said, we had a few thousand pounds ready. We wanted to bring it to the market. And, my family like, we're going to get rich as shit off of this like real quick. All we're going to have to do is grow this, trim it up, and, grow it, dry it, trim it up, and we'll just offload it all. Because that's what farmers do. They got their product, they got someone that's going to buy it, and then they offload it. The problem is the CBD market it's kind of diluted a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of flower out there. Now, I wouldn't say there's a lot of good flower out
Yeah.
but there's a lot of flower out there, and people are and so we're like, well, how? I mean, if we can get X amount for these pounds, a couple $100 for a pound, why don't we just do them as pre-rolls? And then it's going to take longer, but we're going to put that effort in there. And we think that this is a good way because people have a finished product and they can, pop this thing open
Yeah.
and smoke it.
What are where locations can you get it at? I know that if you could check out Green Diamond CBD Florida FL.com, it has a nearest location and you can find out your nearest location.
Yeah, so we got a website and we have a little map locator. So if you just press the arrow, it will show where you are and then it will locate you to the nearest location. So that's real convenient. And
Hmm.
like I said, we're in like 150 locations. So pretty much every half a mile you go, you're
Yeah,
going to
in the
run
Tampa
in.
Bay area.
Yeah, in the Tampa Bay area, you're going to run into a store.
Yeah, I noted like
Pull that thing out of there, man.
yeah. So that's what it looks like. It comes with a filter, everything, and it's only $2.99. So imagine you're getting off of work, you've had a long day, and you're already going there to get a beer or a drink or even cigarettes, maybe. But you see this $2.99 pre-roll J ready for you of some quality local grown CBD. Why wouldn't you just pick this up instead? It's way better. It's gonna make you feel great, and you're just gonna want to smoke CBD instead of cigarettes or whatever
That's
else.
funny that you mentioned that because I read a article. They were doing like a test, and it was people that were addicted to cigarettes,
Hmm.
and they started smoking CBD pre rolls, and now they have like CBD cigarettes as well. I mean, that's not quality flower. They're just taking the whole plant and grinding the thing up. But I mean, like on our stuff, we just put the flower in there. There's no stems in there. There's no leaves in there. I mean, it's a smooth smoking
Yeah, it's
pre-roll.
smooth. I smoked it, and
But anyways, for this study that they did, they found that CBD helps people not smoke cigarettes because it's just like drinking a beer or something. People get used to doing this. They want to smoke. They want this action.
mm-hmm.
And so with this pre-roll, I mean, it's the same thing, and it stimulates your mind, and you don't have to be addicted to. Then there's no additives. Who knows what's in these cigarettes nowadays?
Yeah.
This is all organic. So
So I'm kind of unfamiliar with like CBD, like where to get it, what it is, and every. I know what it is, but like, Can you just sell it anywhere? Like,
what's funny is not necessarily funny, but in Florida, there's no regulation on CBD flower.
mhm.
So this is considered CBD flower because it hasn't been manufactured to a further state. So with like creams and edibles and things like that, there's regulations on, but not CBD flower. So really, Coastal Creative could sell them. They could put them somewhere right in front of their store and sell them out of here.
Maybe in the lucid vending
Uh,
machine.
Yeah, we'll put the whole box and just
Yeah.
let it vend on out.
Buy the box.
Nah, but yeah, anybody can sell it, but people get weary like, oh, well, I'm afraid that they might come in and, tell me that I can't carry these CBD products because there are, these government officials that come in and say, oh, well, you can't have this in your store. But
Mhm.
they don't even know it. This is CBD flower. There's no regulations on it. You can carry this in your store. I don't care what kind of store if you're a hairdresser, if you're a coffee shop, if you're a convenience store, if you're a smoke shop, anybody can carry it without having a CBD license.
Yeah, because I've seen a bunch of CBD coffee shops popping up around, some in Gulfport, some in Tampa, some in St. Pete.
And they
And
probably don't even have to pay for that license if they just have the flower.
yeah,
But you know what it is they infuse their like coffee
coffee.
with it. So I think that makes it to where they have to have their license.
Oh, but they could still pick up this product though.
Oh yeah, I mean we're in a few coffee shops and like actually like one a yoga place too. So
Oh yeah,
it's
hell
like a
yeah,
coffee
dude.
shop yoga combination, and they like sit around in a circle, and I guess they smoke
Smoke.
a pre-roll.
They pass it
And
around.
so we make sure we always have them there for on Monday when they go to do their yoga class.
Oh really?
Yeah, they all
Dang.
smoke a pre-roll.
Yeah, I bet you it gets them ready to stretch.
Relaxes them.
hmm So I saw this guy ranting on Instagram about, oh, they're trying to take a how do you properly say it?
Cannabinoid.
Cannabinoid from this one and this one, and then there's this one, and then we got this one. How do you feel about where I guess, is it just the marijuana industry, or like how would you, the cannabis
Oh, it's
industry?
science, man.
Oh
It's science. They're taking the plant. I mean, I think they've known this for a little bit longer than what I mean, they've been doing a lot of research on this. I mean, now we have CBD, CBN, CBG.
yeah, so what's the difference between those and this, and can I get that stuff, or like
So
what is it?
we actually have CBG flower, and what's funny about this is so all these cannabinoids are in the plant, right? But it just matters how much percentage of that strain is in those plants, and they can, take derive different of those cannabinoids from the plant. So with Goliath, the strain that we grew, it actually has a 50-50 ratio of CBD to CBG. And so, yes, wait, what's CBG? CBG is like a newer cannabinoid that newly discovered, I guess. And it actually helps slow the growth of cancer cells and actually helps fight cancer. And so here we are, this plant that grows from the ground, and we can fight cancer. You don't need to go get chemotherapy anymore. I
Yeah,
mean, maybe not smoke it, but you can,
there's other
ingest it. Yeah,
ways.
there's other ways. But even so, I mean, you can smoke CBG. We have CBG flower as well.
So do you think that more places, I see you can drive past and they say, "Oh, we sell CBD, we sell CBD." Do you think they're going to change to maybe we sell CBG,
Oh, of course.
or
I mean, so it was just like how CBD kind of took a little bit of long running to get going. CBG, people are like, well, what's that? And they don't really think about it. It's not like heavily marketed because people still look down on the industry.
yeah,
But
man.
and there's reasons. I mean, we could talk for
Yeah,
hours of why
yeah.
it's
I
an
trying to get into
industry
that.
industry that's looked down upon, but it's so health beneficial. I mean, and so CBG is just it, I mean, it really helps you out. And so but yeah, they're gonna keep dissecting the cannabis plant and having these different cannabinoids. I mean, like CBN is really good for going to like it promotes sleep. So does CBD, but it just does it it does it better. I mean, there's CBN in this, it's just not as high
As
as a
high.
percentage.
So that's why, like, if when I went to the dispensary today, everything in there, it has a THC percentage. Is
Right.
that because that plant had that cannabinoid, a more THC cannabinoid, or
Well,
it
if
has both, or
so there's something called like a COA, it's a certificate of analysis.
Mhm.
And so what that shows is, I mean, it depends on how in depth they go, but it will show the breakdown of whatever material you sent them. So if you sent them like flour, it will show what percentage THC. And so there's different kinds of THC now too that we're finding out. And so
it's like the Wild West.
it will show you what percentage like Delta 9, THC, Delta 8, like THCA, and then CBD, CBDA, things like that. It will show you the whole breakdown of the plant as a percentage basis. And so I think that these new cannabinoids are going to keep coming up, and then they're going to isolate them and concentrate them to like gummies, tinctures, even flour,
Creams.
even flour.
So do you think that we're gonna get to a point where there's just a whole bunch of different ones, and whatever works for you is what you get, or
Well, you
what?
know what's funny is they have something called like a full spectrum. They have like full spectrum. like tinctures where they have a lot of all the different
Oh, it's like a
cannabinoids.
mix.
Yeah, yeah, and then and now what they're finding is terpenes, which what we know is what adds like the flavor and the
Mm-hmm.
taste. They find that these actually are medically beneficial to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, we're diving into a few new products actually. I mean, there's a cannabinoid. It's called Delta 8 THC, and it's legal. You can buy it at any smoke shop
I've seen
now.
it at Purple Haze. I asked you about it that one time. I was like, "Well, they got carts on the rack. Like, what?"
You don't have to have a license. So we're like, man, this stuff's worth more money. We got to get into this. We got to try it out. And so we have CBG flower, and I mean it's a long process, but you spray this Delta 8, which it's derived from the CBD plant, and you can concentrate it. It concentrates into a distillate, and you go through a few steps, and you can spray it onto your flower. And we've gave some samples out. We haven't launched the product yet, but we gave some samples out, and we're like, wow, this stuff works. It gets you high. But what happens is, so Delta 9's the cannabinoid, the THC, Delta 9 THC is what's illegal. And Delta 8's not illegal. So Delta 9 has one molecule or compound, one tail added to it. And so Delta 8's one less. And that less of a molecule actually makes it so you don't get paranoid when you smoke this Delta 8 flower. And so I think it's here to stay, even if they make THC federally legal. I think they're gonna keep Delta 8 because people don't want to get paranoid. I mean, there's like even like me. I mean, I haven't tried the product, but yet, but people get paranoid. I mean, I used to get paranoid and stuff like
From regular
from regular,
THC.
yeah. And so now they have a product where you don't get paranoid on.
Yeah, I know
And
plenty
but
of people that have that
and so
problem.
the high from what I've heard and from people that tested it is they smoke it. They get the same exact feeling, but they don't get that paranoia. But also hear there's some weird people out there. They like to get paranoid when they smoke. Like it puts them on edge a little bit. I don't
Oh,
know.
I mean, I don't know. I sometimes I do, but not often when I smoke. I gotta smoke a lot. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah.
crazy shit like moon rocks. We gotta be in
Well, that's
space.
because your tolerance is through the roof. I mean, every time I
Yeah.
look at you, you got that damn pen in your mouth.
Yeah.
Nah, but I don't know. It's definitely changing. And now they got cannabinoids like Delta 10 THC. I mean, I don't know too much about that, but they're just really breaking down the plant, and who knows what's in store for the future of it. And I mean, if it's going to stay, I think it's going to stick, all these different cannabinoids, because it reacts to everybody differently, you know? I mean, just like how THC reacts differently to, maybe him or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like some people get paranoid or whatever. It's just people might pick out
What they
their
like.
what they want
Hmm.
that night.
So can you get the Delta 8? I've only seen it really as like a cartridge, or I saw gummies today. Are they selling it as flour yet, or not
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah. People have it in like eighth jars. They have it in like quarter jars, quarter
Hmm.
ounce jars. And so we're gonna try and like we're gonna veer off to that, and we're gonna do what we know what's best. We're gonna put them into pre rolls. We're gonna get that price point where everybody can
Can
get
enjoy it.
high.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for that Delta 8. You gave me that sample cartridge to try. It was pretty cool. It had some issues, but like I said, if I couldn't smoke regular THC or I was looking for an alternative, it would definitely be that.
Yeah, yeah. So you got your license, man, today. Tell me
Yeah,
about
official card carrying member.
that.
It was awesome, man. Like I felt like I should have done it a
Did
long
you
time
walk
ago.
into the office where they checked you like, oh my back hurts or something like that?
No,
And
no, dude.
is it that like how like tell me
Like
the
talk about it.
steps.
All right, so originally a lot of people were telling me you could do it through Zoom calls. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna Zoom call it and just get it done with and not have to see anybody really.
Right.
But then they told me like that day that they're not doing that anymore. So I had to reschedule it and wait even longer and then do the in-person visit. And before you go, you have to fill out like a chart. You can give them your medical records or not. It's really up to you. You can give them whatever you want,
Right,
basically.
right.
So I was just like, yeah, I mean, I stand on my feet like 11 hours a day. I work almost like 60 hours a week. Like, I need
Yeah,
something for my
yeah, yeah.
back. You know what I mean? Just like general stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah, how do you like to, do you like to smoke? Do you want to take edibles? I was like, I mean, I'm down to try anything at this
Right,
point.
right.
There's so much stuff that the dispensary offers that you couldn't get like on the street. You know what I mean? And have it be legit. So that's the reason I went that route. And yeah, it took
And
like,
now you don't have to worry about getting arrested for it.
yeah, or not even, I wasn't really
And
ever
you know what
worried
you're
about
getting.
that.
You know what you're getting. I mean, like you were telling me earlier, you get these carts from the street and they say that they got 90, 95%. But I get this distillate and I can tell you right now, there's no way you can put that high of a concentration into a cart
In a
because
ground
it will
cart.
get gunked up. And it's just like you were saying, like some of these, like the cart that I gave you, I mean, that's not one that we made or
It
anything
was
like
just a
that. It was just a
sample.
sample that I was given. And they try to make them so strong that they get gunked up. But then again, like these other ones on the street from, who knows where they came from, maybe from someone's backyard or
Someone's
something.
bathtub.
And they're putting like glycerin or vegetable oil. I mean, who knows what's in there? Whereas when you get them from the dispensary, I'm sure, they probably put a little bit of, I mean, some sort of oil base so
Yeah.
it can mix.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they put some added terpenes in there too, because when you take these distillates or isolates, all those terpenes are out. So people want these flavors added back
Oh
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah, so I had to wait after that I had to wait 2 weeks. After you get approved like instantly. If not, they give you a refund. So why would they not approve you, right? So I did that. I waited 2 weeks and then I got an email saying, hey, you can go. They're gonna send you your card in 2 months, but you can use this for now. So I was like, all right, let's go to Curaleaf. So I went. I just walked in. I said I'm a first time patient, and I showed them my email, showed them my ID. You just walk in, and it's just like a counter, and you just walk up to the counter, and they have a menu of like what they have.
Yeah, I've been in one before.
Hmm.
I don't have my license, but like you can go as a guest. So,
Yeah,
I mean, they keep it real nice in there. Like it's real like clean and
minimalistic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you
Mhm.
see your products in there, and
Yeah, they had like a little window with the product, but I was just looking at the menu to see what they had, and they were like, "Oh, since it's your first time,
they
every
always have some good deals in there, like on Thursdays or something. Tell me
yeah."
about that Thursday deal.
Well, she said they have a Wednesday deal, but for first
Oh,
time customers, they have like each tier. So they have like a ground flower, packaged flower, and then they have three different carts and like gummies, like just
so
different
you got to get
categories.
all that.
So you could pick whatever one you bought, you could buy one, get one from each category. So I was
Oh,
like, at first the guy
you
told
were
me,
like a kid in the candy shop.
oh man, I was excited. I was overwhelmed kind of.
Uh,
So the guy at the front told me, "Oh, we don't really have edibles. We don't have any edibles today." And I was like, "Oh man, that's kind of really what I wanted." So I
right.
went there, and the girl was like, "Oh yeah, we have two packages of the chews, the Cure
Oh, you
Leaf
got
chews, the
what
lemon
are
ones."
these chews?
So you get 20 in a pack, and they're 10 milligrams each,
But
and
like, what do they look like? I
it's
mean,
just like a little gummy, kind of like those other gummies, the Delta 8 gummies that you had. It's sort of like that, but they have it reminded me of those Starburst gummies that you can get.
oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that shape, and they have a regular flavor. I don't know what that is, but this was the
Can you?
lemon flavor.
Did you try it yet?
Yeah, I ate two of them, man.
Can you try? Can you taste the
Yeah, they're
like?
real oily. So they come in a big that Ziploc package, and
Was
then
the
they're.
oil like sitting at the bottom?
I mean, I didn't dig all up in the bottom of the bag yet, but you could feel it like on the
You're
things.
not at the bottom of the bag
No,
yet,
I
so
just
you're not gonna
started.
dig in there.
So there's that first bag, and then you open that bag, and there's another bag that they're all inside, and you rip that, and they're all inside of that.
Right.
And they
Yeah,
have
they
like
got to make it child safe. I mean, that's why we had to use
I just
these.
figured it was to make it fresh.
I mean, that could be too. I don't know, but I think it's more so it's like child proof.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we had to use these. I mean, I go into some places when I'm trying to get new accounts, and there's like this little tab at the end, and people always try and push on this tab. You can't open it if you try and push on the tab.
Yeah,
They're child proof. I mean, and so in order to open, you have to
pop it.
push it up. I mean, kids couldn't do that. It would be too hard for them to do that.
Mhm.
So you have to make sure that they're childproof for sure.
So have you thought about getting into another form of like expanding the Green Diamond line other than the Delta
We
8
gotta
stuff?
take it
Like,
one step at a time,
no,
man.
yeah, I know that.
No, I mean, so like we're just getting into this Delta 8. We want to see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm sure it will. I mean, everybody wants it. And what we bring to the table is premium flower at a very good value. And people eat them up. I mean, we like in most stores that we're in, people sell these for $2.99. You
Yeah,
can't
it's right on
find
the box.
you can't find when we do that on purpose. You can't find a CBD pre roll in a store for that price,
Oh no,
and we don't lack
and
any
quality.
quality.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's locally grown. You know where it's coming from. It's not a bunch of sticks and stems. Like even like I said at known like brand dispensaries, they're putting like shake basically in their $10 pre rolls. You know, which is
Right.
whack. We ain't trying to smoke sticks and stems.
And I've tried another type of a few of them.
Other
I'm
brands,
not gonna list what brands they
nah,
are, but
we ain't
anyway,
shouting them out.
they're harsh, man. You smoke these things and they are harsh. It'll burn your throat, man.
Yeah.
And so that's the Leafs. The Leafs will do that
Hmm.
because, I mean, I'm not too sure exactly why they do that, but the Leafs are what make your throat burn.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't understand why some places like they're like, yeah, we're just gonna have these pre rolls and charge like a bunch for them. Is the market more towards pre rolls or is it buying the flower itself?
I think
Like,
it really just depends on the consumer. I
mm-hmm,
mean, some people that are more. I mean, there's some people out there that really like CBD and they want to do what they want to do with it. So I mean, people sell CBD flower in like 3.5 gram. They sell it in like 7 gram containers. You even go into some smoke shops that they have big containers out on their display
like
shelves.
pounds.
Yeah, they got like a pound in it. So it's like almost like you're going into a dispensary like what you see on TV or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can pick out which ones you want, and you can
How
get
much is like a pound?
I mean, I'm not sure how much they charge for
Yeah.
a pound, but I mean, it varies just
Yeah,
depending on
depending on what they want to charge.
which strain you want and where you're located. But there's some really good CBD flower out there that I mean, I went into a shop today, man, and someone had some CBG flower, and I'm like, man, I haven't like it was really quality looking, man. Like it was crystally like you can't tell the difference between THC flower, CBD flower, CBG flower. You can't tell the difference, but this stuff, man, it looked like it was phenomenal, man. It was
It
some
was
really
A1.
good stuff. And I'm like, wow, like that is some nice looking flower. And I'm sure that they grew it indoor. We grow all our stuff outdoor, but we grow quality product outdoor. Yeah, we have to combat with a little bit of Mother Nature,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, we're letting Mother Nature do the work. The sun, I mean, we got a well that pumps the water out for us. Let Mother Nature do the work, rather than grow it indoors. It's so costly to grow it indoors and you got to use so much space. It's like we already have this land. Why not grow it outside?
Yeah, people always be like, "Oh man, if it's outdoors,
You
like it's
can't
whack."
taste the
Yeah,
difference.
yeah. Like,
People
how
say,
do you
"Oh,
know,
it
man?
tastes." I mean, yeah. Oh, it tastes earthy. I mean, that depends on the
It's a
strain, man.
plant.
Yeah, I mean, if it's grown indoors, it's still grown in soil, unless it's
Yeah.
hydroponically grown. I don't even think people grow hydroponically anymore. Remember, everyone was,
What?
oh, let me get that
Let
draw.
me get
Like,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I don't even think
But
they.
bro, man, you could just tell anybody anything and be like, "Oh yeah, bro,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, they got
gas.
some crazy
It's that
names out
Zaza."
there. Yeah, so we're, like I said, we're in 150 locations And what we do is we kind of just like prove our concept. We get into wholesalers, things like that. So we don't have to do so much legwork as far as, distributing it out. Let them do what they're good at and let us do what I'm good at is, we kind of, we manufacture the product. And then on top of that, like, we have good field hands out there, people that are doing their work
Shout
for
out to Bucky. Shout out to Bucky.
we have good people out there that are really making some nice pre-rolls for us. I mean, it's a family business, so it's going good, man. I really like to I see where we're in direction to, but for me, man, in business, it's never good enough, man. You got to always
Keep going.
push to something further.
Yeah, man, you just started it, like I said, at the end of last year, and we got a product here already. It's
Right,
in
right.
several locations. Are you trying to build a bigger brand on social media? What's the Instagram, or where can they find you at on social media, online?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have a Facebook and Instagram, Green Diamond CBD. You can find us on Facebook.
At Green Diamond CBD Florida. I'ma promote it for them.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got it.
We got our website. We haven't really launched online selling on our website. We really want to solidify our products in stores locally before we start doing it online. And once we open up these new products as well, then we're gonna start really. I'm gonna make the online shop live. That way
Okay.
we can start shipping things out. If
That's a whole nother game. No,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Once you
So,
start
so
shipping, man,
we want to really,
yeah.
take these steps rather than just jump. That way
Yeah.
we make sure that we can fill the orders that we need, and have the product, the supplies that are needed to go into the product. That way we don't get caught flat-footed and just like, oh, what are we can't fill this order. Like we want to
Yeah.
make sure we can fill all these orders and such.
All right, dude.
So,
So, enough about the weed talk, man. What I know you're the show guy. You're always like, man, you need to watch this show. Or
man, I
why
know.
aren't you talking about shows? You need to start reviewing shows on jitcamp.com. But what show should I watch, man? What are you
Dude, I
watching?
watch so many shows, I forget the names of them. Nah, but
You binge them, or how do you watch? How do
yeah,
you view
dude. I mean,
on what
I'm so
platform?
busy lately, man. I kind of started watching movies now because I
Hey.
can. but
Come to the dark side.
but I mean, I watch shows on like HBO, Hulu, Netflix. One of my favorite shows, man, is probably Peaky Blinders.
Peaky
I
Blinders
love
with
that
Tom
show,
Hardy.
man.
I
I
love
like
Tom Hardy.
anything that's like I'm like a big history guy, man. I like anything that portrays what happened in history, like everything from like Viking time to like Indian and Cowboys
Black
time.
Sails.
Oh yeah, that was a really good show. I like that one. I just heard that Peaky Blinders is they're going to be launching a movie and another season after the movie. So.
Is Cillian Murphy still in it, the lead character?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I probably have to watch the last season. I
You're
don't think.
slacking.
No, I have watched the last season. I just don't remember if he died or not. I don't think he did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, I don't know.
The
I used to watch a
Shelbys.
bunch of shows, but
Dude, it's such like an intense show, and it involves everything that I like the violence, like gambling, like they're a bunch of badasses.
have you heard about the new Marvel shows that are coming out on Disney Plus and the new Star Wars stuff? Or you're not really interested in that?
I did the free trial at Disney, and I tried to watch them as fast as I could.
Uh-huh.
I watched some of the Mandalorian. You were actually the one that like, bro, you got to start watching these Marvel movies. And
I've seen them all. They're good.
and at first, I'm like, man, I don't really like superhero movies. Like, it's too like I'm not too big on like this sci-fi kind of stuff. But once you start getting into the storyline, that's
all
what
stems from the comics.
Yeah, I mean, well, not only that. I mean, just once you get attached to that storyline, then you're gonna get hooked on it. It's just like a TV show. I mean, maybe not like the first episode, but if you force yourself to watch maybe like a couple of extra episodes, then you start liking it. You start understanding the characters, and it just goes from there.
So now what they're doing is I think they.
Oh, Ozark. When's
Yeah,
Ozark?
Ozark.
Yeah, when's the next season of Ozark coming out, man?
I don't know. That's on Netflix, dude.
Yeah, and what's wrong with Netflix, man? Come
It's cool.
on.
They got a movie on there called The Mank. I
You
wanted
got
to
all
go.
these different subscriptions I've never heard of.
Oh, Criterion Channel, man. Criterion Channel is a shit, dude. Oh
WWE.
yeah,
You got
WWE,
that.
NBA League Pass to watch the Raptors.
Yeah, tell me about that, man. You've been going to these Raptors games.
Dude, I was going to the games with my mom. We had season tickets for the whole season that they were playing here, and they're playing Miami Heat and Dallas Mavericks were just in town, the Celtics, all these other teams that I've never seen, and they were like, "Oh, you can't go anymore because of COVID restrictions." And no fans can go to the Lightning games
Did
until
like something happen where someone got like the virus at a game or
so
something?
what I think is that the Super Bowl is coming up and it's like a national event
So
and
they want you to
yeah.
kind of keep your eye on that.
So no, they don't want any problems. So they figured, oh, this is a risk if we have all these
Oh,
people
I
coming to
see.
these games. It'll be like, oh, it's a hotbed, you know. So
Right.
they said it was an internal decision by Amalie Arena, but I'm pretty sure the city of Tampa gave them a call. Just saying, I don't know, but the guy already hit me back up about like, do you want the seats if we can come back? So I said, yeah, dude, you know me. I'm
Right,
gonna be at
right.
the games if there's gonna be
Oh
games.
man, it's gonna be epic when the Bucks are playing at the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. I mean, I see it coming. It's just like you were saying. You're like, oh, if we beat the Saints, then we're playing the Packers. They beat the Packers. What did they beat? They beat the
Like
Pack.
30 points or something. I
Yeah,
was at that game, bro. We
yeah.
rolled them.
So that's a win right there.
Well, Tom Brady already instilled like a mentality in them, like especially off of that last win. Like they're all buying into it because it's working. They're winning, you know.
But one thing that I was hearing is, it's cold there now. When they played them last time, because they
It
got to
was in
go.
Tampa.
Yeah, so it's cold as shit there. So now they got to they have these other conditions that could affect their playing.
Yeah, but Tom Brady played in New England and for a long time, so he should be used to
Well,
it.
yeah, Tom Brady's good.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like it's football, man. It's the championship game. Don't let the cold be a factor. Win the championship.
Right, yeah.
Make history, man. Win the
So
Super
who's
Bowl.
gonna be in the Super Bowl?
I said it was going to be Bucks and Chiefs, and the Bucks would win because I saw enough in them in the game they played here that they could beat them, especially how they're playing now. But with Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs quarterback, getting a concussion injury, it hasn't been announced if he's going to play against the Bills on Sunday. But I think he will, man. He kind of has to.
When's the game for the Bucks?
The Bucks game is at like 3:30, and
On
then the
Sunday.
other game will be at night.
Oh,
But
okay.
the Bills, man, they're tough. You got to watch out for Buffalo.
Yeah. So if who wins, how does it work out?
So if the Bucks win, they go to the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs, the winner between the Chiefs and the Bills goes to play the Bucks.
Oh, I see. So you think that if Mahomes doesn't play, obviously the Bills are probably.
I don't know,
win,
man.
right?
That's tough, bro. They just gave him like $1 billion contract, dude. He just won the Super Bowl last year. He's awesome. I don't know if they can win because you have to game plan so many different things for him because he can come out of the pocket, he can run, he can throw it, he can make plays. A backup quarterback, he's just there, you know. He's not Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, you know sports better than I do. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, you've been really getting involved lately. I mean, all these different season tickets. I mean, damn.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get linked up in one of the organizations, man. Be a creative director or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. You're involved with all these people. I mean, we were out at, I think we went to Trophy Fish, and then we just came right across the street when they opened up Coastal Creative. What did they do?
Oh, Creatorsburg.
Yeah,
It's like a
Creatorsburg.
creatives meetup they have for a lot of local creators in the St. Pete, Tampa Bay area, where anybody, you just come through. And they have different meetups, and it's just to build a bunch of creators.
Yeah, we
around.
went there. I think it was like one of the first nights that they really opened it up for the Creatorsburg.
It's the first night at this new location at the Coastal Creative. This is the podcast studio we're in right now, and that was not their grand opening. They did that like last week, but it was just sort of like a Creatorsburg meeting to get people involved in it at the new
Yeah, that
spot.
was a good event. It was fun.
Yeah, you got some shots done with
Yeah.
by that car, by the Mustang smoking. That was
Yeah,
sick,
we
man.
brought some pre-rolls in and let people try them out,
Yeah,
pass them out.
it was a vibe.
Yeah, I think it worked.
So this was the first episode of the Jit Camp Bonfire podcast, and we'll see you next time. You can find me on at JitCamp727 and JitCamp.com, where a Jit can be a Jit.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, bro, of course, dude.